Inventory of practices. Inventory of practices is a tool for early childhood education providers. It teaches us action plans and opportunities around 4 general areas: building positive relationships, creating supportive environments, social and emotional teaching strategies, and individualized intensive interventions. I'm utilizing this tool to better myself as a teacher, and it has helped me get more organized and socially interactive with parents, students, and coworkers as an early childhood education provider. Building positive relationships. Things I excel at. Using a variety of strategies for building relationships with all families. Strategies like greetings in the mornings, goodbyes in the afternoons, and tennis while conversations, as well as different forms of professionally typed out and informational newsletters and calendars every month, help us build relationships. We keep separate notebooks for our students where we write down notes of each child's behavior and efforts to keep communication with parents. Using the skills that help me to communicate with families obtained from reading the NAEYC Standards of Early Childhood Education Professional Preparation, where it states in their work, early childhood teacher candidates develop cultural competence as they build relationships with diverse families. Building positive relationships. Things I excel at continued. Developing strategies for dealing with situations when children's behaviors push my buttons. When I see myself getting too frustrated with a child, I can always ask for help and communicate with my coworkers. We can share ideas on what may be causing the child to act up and how we can help each other, both teachers and children. I've learned to better handle things that push my buttons through the CSEFEL hot button activity, where I personally take note on what is pushing my buttons, how I feel when this happens, and how it affects my relationship with the children. Building positive relationships. Things to improve on. Understanding that children's challenging behaviors are conveying some type of message. I feel like I can tell when a kid is having a hard time, but I often don't stop to think about what's giving them such a hard time. I typically assume that they are acting up to act up. I'm working on stopping to assess the situation before assuming anything. As a step towards the goal, I will attempt to calmly communicate with the child and hear what they have to say. I hope that this will help strengthen my relationship with the children as well. Acknowledging, contrasting, or conflicting beliefs held by others regarding acceptable and unacceptable types of child behavior. This means to me to have better communication with who you are working with about what is considered okay as far as child behavior, and making sure everyone is always on the same page. In order to allow the children to understand the rules clearly and know what is expected of them, knowing this, I will be more clear with the children and my coworkers as to what our classroom expectations are in the future. Creating supportive environments where I thrive. Removes obstacles that make it difficult for children with physical disabilities to move around the room. My coworkers and I have a child with cerebral palsy and are happy to accommodate to his needs, such as different sized stools to help him with the sink because he has a hard time reaching the faucet. We also try to sit him near things where he can easily grab onto for support. We do it this way because even though things are physically challenging for him, we feel that it's important for him to have a sense of accomplishment for when he does things on his own and trying to make it easy for him. Using positive feedback and encouragement contingent on appropriate behavior. Some of my students have a hard time away from their parents while at school, and when they are doing a good job at their task, I'm sure to give them a thumbs up or a high five and tell them I'm proud of them and that they are doing a good job. This has been effective in giving them more positive attitudes. Creating supportive environments, things I'm working on. Monitoring adult interactions with the children throughout the day. I tend not to bother myself too much with what the other adults are saying to the children. However, I feel that if I did, I would notice so much more about the behavior in the environment. The behavior and the learning environments are very detrimental to a child's learning process, as I have learned from the Toxic Stress article that supportive, responsive relationships with caring adults as early in life as possible can prevent or reverse the damaging effects of toxic stress response. Giving children options and choices. I feel that we let the children choose a lot, but when it comes to the toys, the teachers always choose, and I'd like to see how the children would behave if we were to let them choose for themselves. Children need to learn to be independent, and can't be if we are taking away that option. Social and emotional teaching strategies. My strengths. Waits until interactions are finished before reinforcing, does not interrupt interaction. Since I work with toddlers who are still developing their emotions and feelings, I've learned to let children communicate with each other and use their words before I even think about stepping in. As I learned in Chapter 3 of Guidance of Young Children, 10th edition, Figure 3.3 shows that self-control is a huge developmental milestone. Children won't learn self-control if we aren't giving them the experiences they need. Use as opportunities to comment on occasions where children state they are feeling upset or angry but are remaining calm. One of my favorite relationships I have with the children is when they openly tell me how they are feeling. I take full advantage of this because I see this as an opportunity to strengthen the relationship with the child. I also take a note of how well they were able to express their feelings in a safe way and promote this attitude by telling them they did a good job using their words. Social and emotional teaching strategies. My areas of weakness. Uses photographs, pictures, and posters to portray people in various emotional states. I would love to better portray emotions as something that is acceptable and make sure that the kids know that their feelings are valid and how to communicate them. As I move forward, I will keep my eye open for things such as posters, books, games, and anything else that can be beneficial to the children and their concept of emotional states. Teaches children strategies for self-regulating or self-monitoring behaviors. As I've stated before, I believe in teaching the children about self-control. I am always reminding them to use their words, especially when they don't like something another student's saying or doing. I am going to try to make this into a bigger point in the future because it's not reinforced as much as I would like it to be. I will be actively working on this as a childhood education provider. Conclusion. My greatest moment with this tool was reading through the checklist and realizing that even though I've been doing my absolute best as a teacher, there are still so many things to learn and get better at. There are things that hadn't even crossed my mind that I will definitely be more aware of and work on as I continue my journey as an early childhood education provider.